I had a coaching session the other day with Edward, and Edward is, I guess, what you call part of Generation X. And so he's wondering, one of the things that Edward was wondering about was how does he stay relevant? And a lot of concern was he was trying to figure out how does he stay relevant against the millennials. And so as we were talking about that, it reminded me of an experience I had many years ago when I was in Budapest. So 1991, I moved to Budapest shortly after the Berlin Wall fell. And what had happened there was a phenomenon where everyone was talking about what they called the lost generation. The lost generation were that group of managers and leaders who had been educated during time of Soviet control. They were fluent in Russian. Everything was kind of demand economy based. It was focused on Moscow. And then very quickly, they found that all their skills were obsolete. So between 89 and 92, all of a sudden there wasn't a need for those skills, and certainly not in Russian. And it reminded me of what Edward was feeling, what Edward was going through. And so Edward was starting to feel the same types of feelings that a coachee I had back then, Janos, that he was going through. And there's a bit of a difference, though. And I think for Edward, right now, there's three things that we talked about, and three things I'd like to share with you. Is one, put it all in perspective and try not to freak out too much. Learning a new app, learning Snapchat, is far different than having to learn the Latin alphabet from Cyrillic. So there's a level of perspective here. The second thing is to leverage what he has. He's got years of experience, years of wisdom that he can leverage. And then the third is, don't try to compete with millennials. Leverage what you have. So I think these three can help him. And finally, don't feel like it's as drastic as if you had to go from learning Russian to learning English overnight. You can survive these things.